I'm sure you have questions. This is a rare opportunity to see the four here together, or the five, and the work of Kanemitsu too.
Tom?
Tom.
Okay, what research has been done about Mike's New York existence?
What research has been done? What all I can tell you is there's research that will be able to be done when the archive is made available, because his whole life is documented in.
Yeah, well,
Years ago, I think Crystal Hauser went to New York and she did a presentation about Mike, and she did research in New York. So that's the only one that I could think of offhand that pertains to New York.
I remember, excuse me, I remember Mike telling me the story about him owning Jasper John's Green Target painting, and about the Jasper Johns in Rauschenberg and living in the same building. And Jasper Johns is still alive, and that can be verified. Mike said he lived on the second floor. Rauschenberg lived on the third floor, and Jasper Johns lived on the fourth floor. And Leo Castelli, who was the major contemporary art dealer, told the story about how he walked up the stairs to Rauschenberg's and then to get the ice in Jasper John's refrigerator and seeing the Green Target painting that he had seen at the Brooklyn Museum. And that was Leo Castelli's first real breakthrough as a gallery owner, was Jasper John's target paintings and flags.
I guess that's an area that's open for research. I think people have been trying to get more information, a little bit on Kanemitsu. I know that the curator at the Baltimore Museum was trying to track down what was truth and what was not truth. So, and I was telling her, because I was there, and explaining to the people that some of Mike's stories were really outrageous, and those were the stories that were true. Jeff?
When can we expect a Los Angeles retrospective of Kanemitsu's art?
I don't know, you got any ins at any museums? It would be great if we could get some of the work that's in Japan and some of the work that's on the East Coast and North Carolina and LA and have something. We need to find funding, I guess.
And the Baltimore.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Finding the venue.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll work on it. We'll put it out to the universe. Dorothy?
Are the archives completed at this point?
No.
Oh, no.
Because I need to see the papers or the documents when Kanemitsu was at 800 Fracture. That's the critical part for me. So how would I go about doing it?
Well, I think that they're creating this database. So at least there'll be a listing or an outline of what's there in the boxes, and that will be able to help you find whatever it is you're looking for.
So when can I get to these documents?
No, summer?
Summer.
Yeah, this summer.
Oh, that's very good. Thank you.
Unless, some institution watching today just said, we gotta have that right away.
That's true. That's true.
Sorry.
Taiji.
It's not really a question, but I just want to really thank everyone, Nancy, especially you and Little Tokyo Historical Society for doing this. I mean, Mike is such a gigantic, important figure also probably for Japanese Americans, but for the entire art world. Come on, I mean, it'd be like, what if nobody heard of, other big names like Picasso or, Rocco, or just go down the list. I mean, Mike is right up there. I remember when we used to have the art shows at 800 Traction. I used to feel bad for the artists that were hanging their pieces anywhere near Mike's stuff. Because, I mean, if you had any idea about the difference between the taste of a can of beans and gourmet cuisine, that was kind of what was happening there, And I mean, I'm a musician, and a lot of people might not understand this, but as a musician, I aspire to get to the level of mastery that Mike demonstrated through multiple mediums. And it's just a travesty that he hasn't gotten the level of attention, recognition and appreciation, because it's really how we acknowledge the highest levels of our own humanity, when we examine and appreciate artists like this. So I really thank you, and I also am so glad that I feel like we're extending the work that happened over all of those decades at 800 Tracks and all the artists that were in that building, and the fight that we waged to preserve that history. It's really inspiring to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would just like to add a side note to that. What Taiji said and Dorothy is working on is that when the owners, they're not the owners now because they sold it, but the ones who bought Traction and got all the artists evicted, when they applied for historical recognition of the building, there was no mention, zero mention about any of the artists that we talked about today. So it was just totally a white, I don't want to even call it a blind spot. I think it was intentional, and they just overlooked it. The history ended before all the different artists were living there.
Yeah, with the downturn in real estate, I noticed that there's a for lease sign on 800 Traction.
And they got that historic cultural monument status, and it's covered in graffiti with all these broken windows. What does it mean that they got that status?
Okay, I can add to that. The 800 Traction Avenue building has been sold 3 times since we were all moved out of the building. It's left a massive hole in what was once the arts district. I don't even think you can call it that anymore. But the cultural center that building established disappeared.
Wow.
I thank all the people that were there, that are here today. We're still here.
Well, to answer some of the questions about Kanemitsu's exhibition in the future, as somebody who worked at LAFA, it's important for all of us to let institutions know. I like to see Kanemitsu's work in the museum. I like to see the show because that's how the administration works. When I was working on Kanemitsu's installation in 2008, 2007 was up to 2008. I was also working for Asian American show with Dr. Eileen Ford, and it was on schedule when Dr. Andrea Rich was the head of the museum, and she was ousted out, and Michael Govern came in and he took the show off the schedule. So it's important that that the public, people who support the museum, people who are members, people who live here, they need to say, where's Kanemitsu support? I want to see that on the wall. I want to see the show. And you need to say that because as curators, we can say we need to do the show, but if Michael Govin's not hearing it from the public, it's like, well, I have other things I want to do first. And we're not that high on the list of things. So when public starts to say, where's Kanemitsu's work? Why is it not on the wall? Why? Then they start to say like, then people will say, okay, let's try and get that work on the wall. And that's how we make it happen. So we need all of your support. And then, if there's enough momentum, then then we propose shows and we get funding, and that's how we get the show. So we can all participate in getting the show to happen.
Anything else?
Any other questions, comments, accolades to them? Okay. So I want to thank all of you, Jeannie, Nancy, Ana, Kiana, and Aya, for letting us share the experience of all the work you've been doing these years and of Kanemitsu. So I hope that with today's venue that the word was shared with so many people internally, and it'll continue to spread the word out as well as those online today. So we want to thank you and we appreciate it, and best luck with all your projects, and keep us up to date.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And for those who want to learn more about or continue to be updated on the projects as well as LTHS, I think you've left your name. You can register there, your email, pick up some information, the LTHS brochure, and we will see. Oh, Taiji.
We remind people to put their email in the chat, and
yes.
then we can save the chat.
Okay. For those on Zoom, if you could put the email on the chat, and we'll have that documented. Okay, Amy?
Could we get a picture of this presenters with this background, the audience here? It's a beautiful group. So if we could get a picture of the speakers here, is that possible? At the end?
Okay, well, why don't we do it now before?
Okay, if anyone leaves, because it's such a nice.
And then we want to thank the donation of the refreshments from
Cafe Dulce and from Fugetsudo, from Las Posas Berries, and I also want to give a shout out to Linda Iji, because that's where this archive is being housed right now. So without her generosity. And there's been some other people that have brought snacks and everything today. So thank you all for coming.
And thank you for Nancy, Tokyo Villa, for letting us have this opportunity to hold the meeting here and your presentation today.
Yes.
Yes, it's a beautiful room.
It is, yeah.